really, it's beyond just artistic expression. Everybody is a creative in their own unique way.
Hi, and welcome to Doc Working, the Whole Physician podcast. I'm Jill Farmer, life coach at Doc Working, joined by Gabriella Dennery MD, life coach extraordinaire as well. And we are going to be talking now about the case for creativity. So, Gabriella, tell us why creativity matters and why it matters specifically for physicians.
Oh my goodness. Well, where do I begin? The case for creativity. Well, let's look at what that is. It's the ability to give yourself space and time to rest, because that's really what creativity is. It's not necessarily a new invention or, okay, I have to come up with something now. That's not creativity. Creativity really is a place to rest. It's a place of mindfulness. It's a place of joy. It's a place of making something that has absolutely no sense. I bumped into an article recently on entrepreneur.com, and they were talking about how Albert Einstein and Steve Jobs were the masters of what they call no time. So Stephen Kotler, I think the author of The Art of the Impossible, talks about that, about how it was important to literally do nothing, to have those stretches of time when it's okay to daydream. And Einstein always said that his best ideas came in those moments of no time, when it was isolated time for himself. Of course, it's easy when you have, other people taking care of certain things for you. It's not always practical if the load is on you. But even for a few minutes to be able to say, hey, you know what? In my no time space, I don't have to do anything in particular, think anything in particular, try to figure anything out in particular. And physicians, we are DIY type of people. We're fix-it type of people. We're people who are creative at the outset because we're decision makers, and we're people who can come up with solutions very, very quickly. Jill and our listeners, imagine being in those times where you remembered where you did absolutely nothing. That's when you got your best ideas, because that's what no time allows. It allows for breathing space. It allows for peace, no thought whatsoever, no judgment, no crazy emotions going awry, but simply being in that space where you're allowed the craziest ideas coming to your head. And that is really, I think, essential for a physician's life, to create those pockets of mindfulness, and essential for replenishing and for finding other sources of inspiration. So especially when the work can become a little rote sometimes, just going from patient to patient, going from room to room, or telehealth to telehealth appointment, whatever that may be, making sure the paperwork is up to date and getting all of those things done. Sometimes in that space of no time, when you're allowing yourself to just not think of anything, you'll find the best ideas possible. And so that would be the case for creativity: a space for new ideas, a space for rest, a space for mindfulness. What do you think, Jill?
I love all of that, because you've reminded us that creativity is necessary. And I'll even enhance that. I mean, the brain needs that space for creativity. It's just good for the way that the brain works, and it works well, is to allow some space to think, not just in that purely logical sense way that we're used to thinking, but to think outside of the box and to let some new neural pathways form and things to connect to each other on those brain maps that we have imprinted on our brain. I was somebody for a long time that would have said to you, oh, I'm not creative, right? Because I had misassociated for a long time, and it wasn't my fault. It's kind of what culture told us to do, but misassociated creativity with somebody who's an artist or artistic, visual arts or at decorating or things like that. And it's like, oh no, I'm not good at that. And I tended to be a little bit more left brain in the way that I would think and create. And it was other much wiser than me people who pointed out to me that we all have a need for creativity, and that for some people, creative expression is art. But for a lot of other people, it's all kinds of different things. So for me, conversation can spark creativity because I'm learning new things and thinking new things. And then I need some time and space, as you said, some no time to take inputs and insights from conversations. And my brain is creatively looking at ways to filter that information to share or to increase my wisdom. And so creativity just comes in a lot of different forms. And if art is a creative expression for you, that's amazing. If music is a creative expression for you, that's incredible. And there are a million other ways that your creativity can be expressed as well. What do you have to say about that?
I think that's a great point. creativity is unique to you as the individual. It's really new ideas, new thoughts, new ways of putting things, of pieces together. That's what creativity is. Whether it's mathematics, engineering, or whether it's a day at the beach, or whether, a new activity that you can think of, really, it's beyond just artistic expression. Everybody is a creative in their own unique way. And allowing space for that, as they call Steve Jobs a famous bum for that reason, because he did that. He did no time, but then it's in those time periods that he came up with such amazing concepts. Now, the key, of course, for a good leader is once you have those concepts, putting them into action, right? But allowing space for them to actually happen, whatever that may be for you. I think that is probably the most important one of a key resting place for any busy professional, for any busy doctor, when you're able to shift from that left brain to engage your right brain in total illogical ways. And that's how the right brain works. It makes no rhyme or reason sense, but it's of vital importance to be able to not think in, as you said, linear, logical ways.
So to wrap it up for you guys, creativity is rest, which means it is a chance for your brain to kind of change channels and recharge itself. And it requires space, no time, as Gabriella said, thanks to the brilliant Steve Jobs, gives us that concept. I love that. And creativity is also play. It's letting yourself play in whatever form is unique to you. That's where creativity gets to be enhanced and expressed. And the more time you make for creativity, the more enhanced often your work will be, because it really does play into giving you the skills to problem solve, to think outside of the box in a variety of different situations. So it's not just something that you squeeze into your spare time. I think when we prioritize it and elevate its importance to where it needs to be, it really does enhance our lives and help us to thrive. And with that, we hope that you go out and be creative, my friends, because it is our deepest intention that all of you thrive. On behalf of Gabriella Dennery MD, I'm Jill Farmer, and you have been listening to Doc Working, the Whole Physician Podcast.
We physicians are lonely. There's nobody at work or at home that we can talk to about how we feel and the experiences that we've had. What if there was a community of like-minded physicians, coaches, and mentors who you could just be yourself around? Having this kind of support will be your secret weapon to having a balanced life that you can enjoy again.
If that sounds appealing to you, our program Doc Working Thrive may be just for you. Please check us out, docworking.com. It's DOCWORKING.com, or email me, jen@docworking.com.
This is Amanda Taryn. I'm the producer of Doc Working, the Whole Physician Podcast. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for listening.